77% of Americans say they have at least one financial regret. And 22% of Americans say, you know what, I wish I would have started saving for retirement just a little bit earlier. But how do you balance living for the now and saving for your retirement future? That's what we're going to discuss today. So let's chop. Hi, welcome back to the Life Money Balance Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Preston Cherry, where we talk about letting your life lead your money, not your money lead your life, where your life and money are working concurrently to help you achieve your life's design. All right, let's chop. Money regrets. There's so many. And folks, hindsight is 2020. So once we prosper with our money journeys and our life journeys, and we look back and say, well, we wish we would have done this a little bit better. Well, that's for folks either nearing retirement or in retirement. And then there's folks that are in their high income earning years and really thriving right now. So those Gen Xers, late stage millennials. What about that 20 years where you are still working and you have this lifestyle and this confidence in life that hopefully you have by now, which is this life stage of you feel more confident about yourself. You have a good health in these ages. We're talking about 35 to 40, 45, this 20-year lifespan. Good health, good spirit. You know more about oneself. So you're not giving a damn about what people are saying out there, right? So you have all this great health and stage and hopefully family, you're married perhaps, or even if you're single, right? But it's just about that internal, hopefully piece. We're always growing and, maybe have some challenges of life, but there's a lot of prospering in that midpoint of life before you get to preparing for retirement and then retiring. You can thrive in retirement too. That's another thing. Retirement just doesn't mean you just stop being productive and stop being a person, right? You're just leaving from your must do to what you want to do, going from and to. But we're talking about those thriving years. And how do you balance thriving and having lifestyle planning now in your best years, and then also saving for the security and confidence of retirement? How do you balance that out? So let's go over some of the financial regrets, the money regrets. And those money regrets are not saving enough for retirement, underestimating medical expenses during retirement because medical care inflation is very high. Long-term care towards the end of life is very high. The fluctuation during retirement of how your portfolio is working in order to determine your withdrawal rate, all that's uncertainty. Outliving your resources. So outliving your money is a very a topical conversation, right? So all of these worries during retirement, but also some of those worries, if you prepare strongly enough, or according to your financial plan, you could more than likely fund those areas, and that's a whole nother show. But what about the probability of not living your now at the total sacrifice, of just saving for retirement, whereas you have a lifespan? But what about your health span? We'll get into that. So we want to talk about balancing these two. And there's so many financial regrets, but what about regret of not living life, right? You don't want to die with regret. Yeah, money regret, that's one thing we all of us could have done a little bit better or be doing a little bit better. And we can make those adjustments now, and I'll share some of those with you, right? But you don't want to die with life regret. What could we have done, particularly if you have the resources to do it? And so much of the advice out there from professionals and society is that you have to starve now to feed your later. And that's deprivation. And that's not life. We have to find some sort of balance to fund lifestyle now and fund retirement later, and have confidence in both and live fully in both. That's what thriving and prospering is all about. So we want to shake off some of the money stigmas that are floating around society and coming from some advisors, right? And we want to kind of shake off some of the conditioning and say, it's okay to live more so now, not at the total behest of the future. All right. You don't want to have this mentality of, oh, you only live once, although that's cool. You only live once, right? And that's a little bit of this, but extreme YOLO, as they call it, you only live once. Extreme YOLO is saying, well, I don't care anything about the future, so I'm just going to spend willy-nilly right now and just enjoy everything and get whatever I want and not adhere to a financial plan and just do everything now. And that's not what we're saying here. We're not saying that. There's two types of time discounting that are at play here. All right. If you have a high discount of time, then that means you're discounting the future very much so. And you are investing into the now at the total discount of the future. A low time discount is saying, I care about the future, so I'm going to care more about that. But also, I may not live in my well-being right now because I care so much about the future. All right. So there's high time discounting and low time discounting. Well, you can balance both. All right. We had to approach a balanced structure of time. We only have this, life stage vitality now. You only get that once. And that's and you see this in the stat of health span and lifespan. Great statistic coming from the Employee Benefit Research Institute about lifespan and health span, to where life expectancy, and this is one of the big fears, is that folks are going to run out of their money. So not to run out of their money and not have enough to fulfill their lifespan. And lifespans can go into the mid 80s for women and lower 80s for men. All right. But what about that health span? Okay. Health span is vibrance, vitality, health. Okay. Very mental, spiritual, mental and physical to be exact. And you throw in some spiritual in there as well, but it's particularly mental and physical. Okay. That's health span. It's vitality. Well, the health span is a little bit lower than lifespan. Health span tends to be about 10 to 12 years lower than lifespan. So if you have a lifespan of, say, 85, let's just take this round number because, like I said, lifespans are typically anywhere from 80 to 85, depending on gender, from this effect. Then that means health span is a decade earlier as far as vibrancy is concerned. So that's about 75. All right. And then let's say you retired, 10 years prior, which is 65 and maybe even 60. All right. So that's 15 years, of vibrancy at least in retirement. Right. But what about the years, okay, before 60? And these are what we're talking about now, the life stage vitality years, anywhere between, say, the 35 and 60, but really I want to get down in to say, late 30s, probably 40 to 55. These are these awesome years of vitality. No, no, you can't play tennis the same like you used to. I play a lot of tennis in high school and even throughout my 20s. I'm 45 now. And oh man, I used to run all over the court, come up to the net and everything. Now I'm playing tennis now and somebody hits a good shot. I'm like, damn, that's a good shot. All right. So congratulations. But then I do the more, I guess the older thing is get back on that service line and start pumping out some power serves, right? So I can catch my breath a little bit. But that's life stage but you're still out there playing a good game of tennis. And that's anything that you want to do, whether it be hiking, camping, or I don't know, traveling, or whatever your aspiration is that suits you, that requires both mental acumen and also physical acumen. You still have that, God willing, at those ages and somewhat at a peak combined, right? You may be able to do something physically better than what you are in your 40s, back in your 20s. But I'm talking about that holistic wholeness approach to having a high stage of life right now and all those dimensions that I mentioned, right? So this period matters. And here's another thing. How about this? The movie Benjamin Button, right? Y'all remember that scene to where the two main characters they came together in the mirror, and it was they were in a dancing studio, and they said, you know what? I think we're meeting in the middle. and I believe he was like 45 or something, or she was like 40, or he was like 48, and she was like 45, something to that effect. But we're talking about the years that I'm talking about, those very vital years. We're meeting in the middle. Listen, your life stage matters with your money. All right. And a lot of folks talk. So I call it the Benjamin Button years. These are the best years of your life where you're meeting in the middle. Right. So how are you using your money to fund the now? There's a fascinating statistic about retirement with people that have at least $500,000 in retirement or more. And it says that folks with this amount of money spend down less than 12% of their assets over a 20-year period. That's fascinating. But those with over $500,000 spend down less than 12% of their assets over a 20-year period. And that is a sacrifice of well-being. That means that you have the capacity to do more in retirement, but because of some sort of either worries or fears, many of which we've listed today, then it's simply not taking out enough money in order to fulfill those thriving years of retirement. Go, slow go, no go, right? And a difference between health span and lifespan. So it's very important to say that, we have the bandwidth. If we are saving and investing right, we can also spend smoothly over time and invest in our well-being. But the point about it is that people can withdraw more in retirement than they think. Also, before you get to retirement, if those spending beliefs and perhaps fears and limited well-being when you can do more in retirement exist, then it's probably healthier to start preparing your relationship with spending and investing in your well-being now in your thriving years, which means that if folks do well with their 5-point plan, which is having your personhood, your identity, your preferences, your purpose, and your points in life, right? Along with your plan. So your person, your preferences, your purpose, your points, and your plan. That's 5-point plan. And if you're doing that well, then you can have levels of prosperity. All right. You're prospering if you have those elements, which means that you're putting yourself into your purpose in life, into your plan, your preferences at different life stages, your who you are as an identity, your value systems. Okay. And you're taking into account where you are in life, because where you are in life, your life stage is going to also shift where you have your money. If you're watching the show, then you know the line. Life and money alignment gives your money assignments. And life stage shapes that as well. And all within a financial plan. And if you have a financial plan, then you can determine or shape how much spending room that you have. Life is not all about saving and investing. Yes, we should be doing that. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks that are in their Gen X years and high income earning years, there's a lot of a lack of confidence in retirement preparedness. There's a lot of it because those folks that are in this area, yes, they may be having high incomes and they may have this life stage vitality, but they're also having not that much confidence in retirement preparedness. So they're saying, well, Dr. Cherry, what the hell are you talking about? When we have all this worry and angst about retirement preparedness, you're telling us to spend more. No, what I'm sharing with you is that within a financial plan, and if you have the resources, right, you can do both. It's and, not or. You can live now, have your lifestyle planning now, and save for your retirement, security, and future, and live abundantly in both stages. All right. And this is about having a holistic approach to your well-being and giving oneself permission to thrive in both stages. When I'm sharing with you that life stage matters and about the dimensions of well-being, okay, I call this the life money balance wheel. It's in the book coming up, but it's the life money balance wheel shares these dimensions of life that you want to invest in. All right. You have life-centered utility. These areas are going to give you, we'll post this somewhere so you can see it as far as the wheel, but the life-centered utility is going to give, the areas that are going to give you fulfillment and meaning. The money psychology utility, this is going to These areas are going to give you, wholeness and self-actualization. All right. And with your person, some of those areas include here. I got the sheet up right here so you can see it. But these are emotional, relational, spiritual, behavioral, cultural, worth and value, identity, all of these areas in money psychology. When you have life-centered utility, you're talking about your aspirations and goals, time, purpose, family and friends, charitable giving, values, legacy. All right. And then you have these lifestyle utility areas. So 3 dimensions. Lifestyle utility are your wants, your goods, your services, all right, that have high internal value, which is okay to spend on. You're talking about entertainment, expression, hobbies, art, transportation, cars. I know people, so many pushback on cars, a home, whatever the material good is, your house and home, your lifestyle, and your apparel, your travel, all of these areas. Okay. So it's okay to align your life and money in the dimensions that you care about most and give your money assignments in these areas. All right. Use your money to invest in the areas that are going to give you increased levels of well-being, which is happiness, by the way. Money does buy happiness if you know, or if you've done the work to investigate what you value most. All right. What you value most amongst your your dimensions. Okay. So when we're talking about not dying with money regret or life regret, it's more about permission to invest in the areas that you value most at a peak time in life and also in retirement, giving yourself permission to go about your plan without justification to others. Because so often there's money shame that we're dealing with both internally and externally, either internal with ourselves, these battles that we have with ourselves, do we have enough? Will we run out of money? But also too, more shame with, well, if I spend on this, how is it going to look? And that's with society and advisors. That's external shame too. So because some advisors and some society conditioning says, well, if you're spending money in this way and that way, and spending money on if you got a new car, well, you don't know why that's called a preference. All right. So if you have a preference and it's within your plan, so what? Somebody has a new car. What are you going to drive a bucket around all the time? But if somebody wants to drive a bucket, that's okay too. There's no shame and judgment in either. And this is what we're talking about. Releasing the internal permission and getting rid of social stigmas to invest in the now, and also shaking some of those internal barriers and thought processes that you may have to say, you know what, I have to save everything now, or more than necessary in order to fund retirement. All right. So if you can have a little bit of comfort that you can do an and not an or, then hopefully your well-being increases and you have this time discounting balance rather than this imbalance going like this, right? There's a book that a lot of people are popular, that people like, and there's sayings too, not just from this book, but it's kind of common knowledge where people say, well, when people are talking about a regret on their deathbed, then they don't bring up money. So money is quote unquote not that important. Right? Life is more than just money. All right. So when folks use this ideal to keep perpetuating that, money is not that important, or whatever it may be. But the point of matter about it is that if you're worshiping money, okay. If you're worshiping money, like the only thing that you do when you get up out of bed is saying, hey, you know what? Life is about money and my self-worth is about money. And I'm going to use every minute of my life to make money. Right. Well, yes. Okay. That is maladaptive behavior. Okay. That's not healthy at all. Right. However, when folks are saying that, or even when they're expressing, because even in this book I'm about to tell you about, that when they're saying that they, either their last regrets when they're exiting life and they don't mention money, it's not that they don't wish or didn't like making money. That's not the regret, because as equally as they don't mention money on their deathbed in most of these studies and everything like that, even the studies, not on their deathbed, as far as regrets are concerned, life regrets, it's not that they don't regret, or just because they leave money out when they say this. They also leave out right? That they wish they would have earned less money. So as much as they don't say, oh, money was just everything in my life, or money was important and these other areas were more important, they also do not say in those questions, in those studies, you know what? I wish I would have earned less money. Okay. I need y'all to let that sink in a little bit too, because one exclusion is one thing. You know, I didn't mention money, but I also didn't mention earning less money either. Okay. So the issue is how folks went up. This is the regret, is how folks went about earning their money, right? It's about time. I wish I would have more time balance. I wish I wouldn't have given so much to a company, so to speak, as far as time is concerned. And the 5 regrets in that book, I'm sure you know this one, right? All right, but here's the 5 regrets. I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends. So relationships are very important. I wish I would have let myself be happier. Those are the top 5 from the book, right? And I think it's from Bonnie Ware, I believe. Yeah, yes, Don't Die with Regret. By Bonnie Ware, I believe, something to this effect. Okay. Oh yeah, top 5 regrets of dying. Yeah, that's it. Top 5 regrets of dying. So those are the top 5, and they say, well, yeah, and that's just not in that book. It's in a lot of studies, right? That say, or not even just studies, but just analyses. Nobody mentions money. All right, but if you read those, it's particularly with, I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. I wish I wouldn't have the courage. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I wish I let myself be happier. And there's other regrets too. Is I wish I would have lived more in the present, so on and so forth. Right. So the underlying issue with a lot of those regrets is how they went about, life. Those time aspects, the relationships that are so important. Right. All right. But what also is left out is, they didn't say that. I wish I had earned less money. You know why? Is because money is essential to our lives. I say this all the time. Money is just not a tool. Some people say it's just a tool, but that leaves the fact that has no soul. It's really a partner. It discounts saying money is just a tool, and there's more to life than just money. Well, yeah, okay, we get that. All right, but just relegating life or money to some this non-arbitrary item just does it disservice. What it does is that it not just devalues it just brings down downplays. That's the word I'm looking for. It downplays the significance of money's importance. Money has soul, just like you do. A human being has soul, and when you have a partner in life, then you have partnership, you have soul alignment. All right, and money does contribute to all of those areas of life that we talk about, right? Whether it be in those dimensions that I'm talking about, meaning, purpose, wholeness, self-actualization, your wants and goods, okay? And it's because in that 5-point process, when you're talking about your person, your purpose, right? Your preferences, all right? Your points in life, your life stage matters, okay? Then money plays an essential role, all right? It plays an essential role in what we're doing. And you can invest all of that money, or your money is into your now and your future. All right. So when you're talking about money regrets, life regrets are alongside of those too, because life and money dance in the same tune. All right. It's the same song. It's why the book coming out was Wealth in the Key of Life. You use your music notes in order to create your song. It's a wholeness. So don't discount this stage of life that you're in. Talking to those folks they're in this life stage vitality, and you're meeting in the middle. You're meeting in the middle. All right. Where you have a high level of spiritual balance, self-balance, hopefully income and asset balance, right? These are the years. Because when you're coming up, if you look at a graph, you're coming up from, a baby, obviously, but when you start having the formative years, you're a child, then you're a teenager, then you're a young adult, then you're discovering, and then you probably make little mistakes. Then you're growing a little bit. It's starting in your late 20s and going into your 30s, right? All right. And you have a family and all that, now everything is coming together. All right. So some of those years, they count because you're living. All right. But you're continuing to find this wholeness in life. And now you're coming to all of this you're coming into that wholeness domain and realm, right? Of physical, mental, spiritual, financial health. Then on the back end, all right, you're getting into, yes, you have more time and during retirement and the like, and hopefully you build up some money and all that. But eventually you're going to have physical and mental decline, even if you're in the best shape. Even if you're in the best shape and you keep your mind right and everything like that, right? The vitality is simply not the same. Health span and lifespan. So I encourage you not to die with regret, life or money regret. Shape your finances in a way that you can live for both realms of life. All right. Because life stage matters. I hope I went over that with you today. All right. Live for them out. Give yourself permission to assign your money that's going to give you the most well-being, happiness, and now and later, and fund those so you can live in both realms fully with confidence. All right. All right. That's what I got for you. We'll tune in next time. If you like and heard what you heard on the show, then please subscribe. We are booming with subscribers now, so come on with it. Share with your family and friends, and we will chop it up next time. Cheers.